Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. We are very excited to have you guys here for the DRL match between Mokyx and MrDrRaven. I am very happy to be joined here by Dr. Rambler, PhD. Hello, Mr. Rambler. How are you? It's great to see you.
Hello, User. I'm very good. Thank you, thank you. I'm happy to be here commentating a DRL game. It's been a journey to watch like all the players, like learning so much about so many people, wonderful people in the Elden Ring community. It's a pleasure, and I hope it's a great game. We've had many great games already in this playoffs, and this one is probably gonna be pretty close, as so many of them have been and I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I am very excited to see this one as well. We have two players who are not only finished very close in the qualifiers, 23 and 26, but also people with a little bit of experience coming from DRL 1. Rambler, if you want to pull up the Rage Bait model, your model, and you can talk us through the technical side of this. But while Rambler gets prepared for that, I will talk to you about the results from these players from last season's DRL, as both these players did compete last season as well. It looks like Mokyx has just loaded in, so let me go ahead and just refresh his stream there. Beautiful. Anyways, though, we will talk about Mokyx first. Mokyx was the 14 overall seed in DRL 1. Finished very strong. 1 point behind Lil Aggie. Finished ahead of Palucky, ahead of Catalyst, CBD, NPT, right? Had a very strong run last season in the qualifiers, but unfortunately, bad thing about being the 14 seed is that you run into the 3 seed, and same situation as last season. Neora actually was the 3 seed again, 3 seed in back-to-back years, and he did unfortunately fall to Neora in the first round of the top 16. Last season the bracket was a little bit different, so this season it is there's 32 who make it, but it's like a top 16, like it's a double elimination with an advantage for the top 16. Last season, it was just a winner's bracket and a consolation bracket. So a top 16 and bottom 16 bracket. They were 2 separate brackets, both single elimination. And actually, MrDrRaven performed fantastically. He came in as the 19 seed last season. So that's basically the 3 seed of the second of the consolation bracket. And he made it all the way to the finals of that. He beat Bastos and Gordy, as well as NPT, Nuclear Pasta Tom, but did eventually fall to the buzzsaw that was Catalyst, who was in the losers bracket unfairly. Which, you know what, I can't blame him. If anything, I would say he was the champion and Kata was the Smurf, right?
Yeah. Pretty much, like Catalyst couldn't do 3 seeds of that tournament, right? Like, so he had the numbers.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I remember he said that like he had to do like a bunch of seeds in one day at the very end. So
he's speed running. He's even speed running DRL.
Yeah,
look at that.
So yeah, that was why he was in the losers bracket there, because obviously, I mean, if you look at just the playoff performances, he had probably the best run of anybody, just looking at the scores, or arguably even compared to the winners bracket. Of course, different seeds, so it's hard to compare. But this matchup here is a big one between Mokyx and DRRaven. This is in the loser side of the bracket again, so this is win or go home. What these guys are playing for is the winner will advance to play Palucky, actually, who we saw on the Geno broadcast. So regardless, going to be a tough matchup waiting for them, but just take it one game at a time, and both these competitors are getting ready for this game here. Rambler, Rambler has, oh my god, I forgot the Gamba, chat. I'm such a bad streamer. Okay, I'm getting a Gamba up. I'm getting a Gamba. While I'm getting the Gamba up, Rambler, advanced stats, please.
Okay, so some of you know, like Deathless Randomizer League is a league that like has over 200 people competing in it, right? Like they, not all of them played all the seeds, but most of them did. So it's very difficult to figure out like who's who's the best between like two players who are very close in the score. So I developed a little statistical model that tries to get into the skill of the players, into the chance that they have of like dying during a run, trying to like gauge a little bit how they might perform in the future. Mokyx and MrDrRaven, they got two very similar scores overall, right? Mokyx got 362, the same score as Little Aggie. He's behind him on the tiebreaker. And MrDrRaven got 358, which is only 4 scores lower. So they could have like switched places here. Like it was not inconceivable. So looking at the numbers, Mokyx has a little bit of a higher floor. He's more consistently hitting 70s in his seeds, and also more consistently when he dies early, it's not that early. Like he had 2 seeds where he hit mid 50s. He died like a bit early in those, but that may matter here because if you die late is better than if you die early. Obviously, assuming your opponent also dies. Meanwhile, MrDrRaven did have like a very bad seed 12, seed 2. He died on like 12 points, and that was pretty bad. So he has a little bit more of a chance of like getting baited into an early death, and that is making the most of the difference here in this point. The rage factor, which is like the raw skill, like ability of killing many bosses very fast, is similar between them. But Mokyx does have the advantage, and the model is projecting him with 58% chance of winning this game here today. Obviously, 58% is a favoritism, but it's not that big. Like 40% things happen all the time, and I think like in terms of experience, DRRaven is also as experienced, at least as Mokyx. So
I would say he's more, maybe more experienced, having made it all the
maybe
way to
even
the
more,
losers
yeah.
finals, right?
That is true, yeah, and that's a bit interesting about the pressure these players have been, because the C2 failure by MrDrRaven meant that in the final seeds he had to perform, and he did. He got his best score in seed 7, and then his third best score in seed 8, and those two were the push that he needed to make sure that he would make the playoffs. Mokyx unfortunately didn't do that well in seed 7, but he did get a 69 that crystallized his position on the upper half of the bracket in seed 8. He got a 69. It was a very nice score, and that pushes him a little bit further in the chances of this particular matchup. In terms of like the major stats, that's the conversation. When we compare the seeds that they did well, both of them, we see a little bit of an edge in favor of MrDrRaven. They got 73 on seed 1, while Mokyx got a 76, but in seed 8 he got 72, while Mokyx got 69. And in seed 5 he got 71, while Mokyx got 73. So a little bit of an edge for Mokyx here on the comparison between seeds that they both finished.
Yeah, so chat, if you're looking to get your gambas in here, numbers do give a slight edge for Mokyx, but it's very close. And I will say, based on the gamba right now, it's looking like a massive value bet on MrDrRaven, as we have 104,000 corn on Mokyx to 13,000 on MrDrRaven. You know, we do not encourage gambling unless it is with fake Twitch points on this channel. So please, it is the culture of the Hoosier channel to go all in and bet. We do see a massive bet there on DRRaven, evening the odds. But let me just read you guys these starting classes here pretty quickly. There is a fairly obvious choice, but it is not the best. Vagabond has Omen Cleaver, not the axe, the curved greatsword, and Reduvia. 2 sacrificial axes on the warrior, Deadly Poison perfume bottle on hero, Dismounter on bandit, Roger's rapier on astrologer, and then Prophet is the class that I think they will pick. It is one of the worst stat spreads, but you do get the Falx, which is a pretty good weapon, as well as that Curse Blade Mask for an extra +5 dex. That is the class that other players have hovered over right now, and I strongly expect them to take. Samurai has the Falchion, just a basic curved sword. Matting Hand on Prisoner, but also does have the Raptor's Black Feathers. So maybe if you find something and really wanted to gamble, there could be an argument there for the jump attack buff. Polier's Hidden Needle on Confessor, and Monk's Flame Blade on the Wretch. So really, classes are not fantastic. I think the only other one worth considering would maybe be Prisoner with that Matting Hand, slightly better stat spread, and the Raptor's Back Feathers. But overall, I think this is a pretty easy pick with the Prophet and that Curse Blade Mask. In terms of keepsake, there is nothing fantastic. You got some raw meat dumplings maybe for an emergency heal. Gold Rune 11, which is what I expect the players to take, 6,000 runes, always nice. Or a shackle that could be used for clearing the catacombs and things. You can save some time by lowering the invisible doors or the fire pillars or whatever they're called. Overall, though, I think this is a pretty easy pick for our players here. Gold Rune 11 plus Prophet, and it seems like that's what both of them will be selecting.
Yeah, I think it tends to be more like oriented towards the weapons available that you select a starting class, especially because you do start with runes that push your character at the start all the way to level 30. Usually you spend all of those runes into levels in Vigor, because, well, it's deathless, right? So we don't want to die. We need that health bar very healthy and very big. Sometimes you do spend some in endurance if you already have a weapon that is very heavy to yield. But I could see like both players here just dumping everything in Vigor to start.
Yeah, I mean, the starting stats definitely do make a big difference. The Curse Blade Mask really does help make up for it, though, with that extra 5 dex. And it's, you know, it just is what it is. If you had another class that was strong, like on Hero or Vagabond, two of the stat classes with the best stat spread, generally speaking, for this league, I could see there being an argument, but I don't think Deadly Poison Perfume Bottle, Omen Cleaver, or Reduvia are enough to give up the Falx, because Falx is an incredible weapon that could really quickly be pushed into like the S tier plus range, especially depending on what the care package is. And our players are underway here for the match. While we have a second, while our players are just getting set and loading in and leveling, I am actually going to just load into the seed as well, and I will read you off everything that is in the care package for the players here. In terms of the chest pieces, there is no Raptor's Black Feathers, unfortunately. They do have the Herodos Glintstone Crown, which will give them a little bit of extra endurance as well as intelligence. In terms of the talismans, it is really bad. Really, really bad. Blessed Dew and a modded necklace +1 is about all that's useful. Miraca's Scar Seal will sell for a little bit, but it's like Fine Crucible Feather, a Trick Mirror, Great Shield Talisman, Arrow Sting. So really poor on that regard. In terms of the tiers, again, nothing really great. They have Green Spill for a little bit of extra stamina, which is always nice. And they have Spike tier, which is normally really good, but with the Falx, you're not doing that many charge attacks. So unfortunately, I think our players are in for a tough seed, as the starting items are really poor. They do have a good weapon, but they are on Prophet. So I will say I feel like our players are definitely up against it here. The question will be how are they able to play on what should be a pretty tough seed. I would not be surprised if this was one of the, just looking at it from the start, I think this is probably going to be one of the lowest scoring matchups that we've had. Just not because of the players, but just because of the what's available, right? But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
At the start, players get some unlocked graces. They always get First Step and Lake Facing Cliffs, and then they have 2 extra unlocked graces, Nokron and Scadu Altus. Scadu Altus is pretty useless, as players do not get Scadu, so maybe you see people going to the DLC at the very end for a boss or 2, but it's highly unlikely. Nokron is fantastic though, because you can get quite a few bosses along the way and get into Altus that way by killing Fia's champs and taking the teleporter. The reason why I just said that it's tough so far is players do get, you know, the stat spread. They're on Prophet, which is one of the worst starting classes in terms of stats, even though they have a great weapon. And additionally, they get a care package with a bunch of talismans and physic tiers and these sorts of things. And there really was just nothing useful. We do see DRRaven there picking up an Axe Talisman. So Axe Talisman plus Spiked, man, if they find balls.
Yeah, that's a possibility here. About the graces, it's very important to point out, like, the Liurnia grace is always open. So every time a player starts a seed in DRL, they have the Liurnia grace open, and that usually is the starting point because you get a sacred tier right next to tops there. But Mokyx decided to do a different opening. He went to Lingrave. He checked Kale already, checked this graveyard to see if he gets some items, and I think in both cases here it is warranted to do some item checks because we don't have much coming from the care package.
Yeah, I think the starting items and everything are just really poor. So doing a little bit of extra looting at the start is more than worth it. Falx is a weapon too that is always good, but can move to fantastic depending upon like the buffs that you get. If you get a lot of multi-hit or jump attack buffs, there were none. So, you know, warrants looking. And honestly, you know, I think you could very well think about pivoting off and not actually using the Falx if you find a better weapon, because without the Falx just benefits so tremendously from the buffs, and without them it's kind of mid.
Also, one good thing about this format for the players is that the stat requirements on the weapons are off. So it is very easy to switch weapons. Like, you don't need to have specific levels to be able to use the weapons. So if you find something that benefits more from the things that you got, you're very incentivized to switch.
Yeah, and we will see our players doing a sell here. MrDrRaven is actually going to have to immediately kill this Crystallian +0. No, well, he's going to try to Mog, but that's not going to work. Crystallian has like the most ridiculous aggro range of all time. It is the boss that is at
this
Smaragd is, I think we're having some stream issues here. So yeah, he's gonna, I would expect him to just kill it because it's single Crystallian, right? Like,
no, he's +0. He didn't level anything.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably just kill it, honestly, because it'll take a little bit longer, but it's a Crystallian, right? Like in Liurnia, it'll die somewhat quickly, but
it's Smaragd scaling. Smaragd
it's
is the boss that I don't know. I think.
I mean, once you stagger them, actually, like curved swords and Falx are very good.
You find Chilling Mist at the merchant here in Liurnia. Chilling Mist is an Ash of War that you can put on many weapons. Not all of them, but you can put on many weapons, and it's a very useful one to get Frost without having to switch the affinity of your weapon to cold. You can keep it heavy or keen or quality if you want, and still have the ability of proccing Frostbite with the weapon if you find a boss that is afflicted by it.
I also will say both players just sold the Curseblade mask. I know it does sell for like 500 runes. I wonder if that is a knowledge gap, because it does give +5 dex, but at the cost of your heals. It reduces your heals by, I think, 10%.
Maybe it's the opposite.
Yeah, maybe
of
it was just a
gap.
conscious decision, right? Because they do have the Herodotus crown, which is just a +2 endurance, right? With no drawback. Also gives some int, but that's not super relevant. So maybe they just prefer that.
Despite the diverging paths,
and there is Matting Hand as well at the. I would give that Matting Hand a look, actually, because of the spiked and everything. It's also strike damage. You have spiked plus axe, so I would definitely take a look at the Matting Hand. That it was in a starting cost, but round 2 at round table there. Hello, Blanks. Well, hello, welcome in.
Also, Shriek of Sorrow, another Ash of War. That one goes on every melee equipment. So you can put on any weapon that Ash of War. And why are Ashes of War important? Is because you're probably gonna want to level 1 damage stat during the whole run, like level all strength or all dex, depending on the type of weapon you're running. And if you have an Ash of War that you can put there, on that weapon, you get more scaling, so you get more damage out of your weapon.
And we do see the players with very different routes here. Mokyx routes look somewhat similar to Neora's that Neora ran the other day. This is a Ghost Flame Dragon, and yep, Mokyx is going to just pivot off here. So with these, I'm not sure if this was premeditated or just in response to the bad starting weapons that the players are looking to do some extra looting. I did see Winged Greathorn there at the Beach Merchant, and I also saw that Mokyx picked up Godric's axe at the graveyard by Bernie. If you check both, you could power stance the great axes. Obviously those are two of the worst great axes, but they are both more or less quality scaling. I've done a run with 2 Winged Greathorns and made it work quite well. Also, plus 10 and plus 25 stones available to our players, so they will be able to max out their weapons, or at least MrDrRaven will. I expect that Mokyx will go to this cave fairly quickly.
Very good place to get the plus 25. Like you're already maxed even before like the game actually really started, and this is the first score for DRRaven here, killing the watchdog.
Yeah, just a little bit of a slower start from the players here, both choosing to do that extra looting and item checks, which I just think, given the seed, is very justifiable. Like, as much as I like to go ahead and start killing, I think this might be a seed where I do a little bit of extra looting, just given how poor their items are.
Especially if it's not too much out of the way, right? Like if it's a place where you were going to go anyway at some point, like it's not that big of a time loss. Checking the merchants, like Mokyx just did in Ingrave, or DRRaven going for that like graveyard that is kind of on the way to Temple Quarter. You lose some time, but you may get like the weapon that you're gonna use. You may get like some items that are gonna be useful, so it's not that big of a deal to delay the killing for a little bit when you need that edge.
And DRRaven did just go ahead and get down the Pumpkinhead. I think his stream is having some issues. I'm gonna try dropping the quality just slightly to see if we have. I'm not sure if that's on my end or his end. If it is on my end, I apologize, but we are having just a little bit of buffering issues, so I'm going to drop the quality ever so slightly, and hopefully it irons itself out. And it does look like Mokyx here is going to potentially be looking at what bosses are in Dragon Barrow. Maybe he does go for it right away. Nope, at the very least just sets it up. We saw Neora yesterday run through and look at everything that was there. We have
his master also did that. There may be a bit of a French connection there, like where you do. Oh, you get Beast Clergyman Grunk here in a very small location.
Dude, he's on the roof. Also, DRRaven here has found 2 remembrances. I believe he found the meta remembrance from the Demi-Human Chief's Evergaol, and then he also found another one there from Stormhill Evergaol.
Yeah, that's good. Like extra money off rip, like you really want to have that going. The only problem I would see right now is that Fox doesn't have any of the buffs, like you said. Like we're not in a situation where Fox is gonna shine the most. So I wonder if like getting this money right now, like kind of like forces DRRaven into the path of specializing too early on Fox. Before maybe finding something that is more appropriate for the buffs that he has. We saw Mad in Hand in Round Table. Nobody scared to get it. I guess Medding Hand is not as popular as the other hand, Poisoned Hand, or the other hands that we know, like the Spiky Hand. Also
Yeah, the
known as
spiky
Starfist,
hands are something.
or the Clean Hand, like the Iron Balls. So.
Yeah, the shaven, the brought to you by Manscaped
Shaven.
hand. Brought to you by
Exactly.
Manscaped balls, yeah.
Manscaped Balls.
Also, DRRaven did just pick up the Axe of Godric, and also has the Winged Greathorn available to him at the shop. We know how strong jump attacks have been in this league so far. I would take a strong look at jumping with the Axe of Godric and the Winged Greathorn. Obviously, not the ones that you're exactly hoping for when you're thinking of a jump attack build with great axes, but a great axe is a great axe, as said. So
Yeah, it's better than nothing, I would say.
And I think we saw Mokyx there go ahead and kill Bernie, and I think he's going to go ahead and kill Patches here, and then also even turn in his bell bearing. Scoring is definitely a little lower for Mokyx, but he has done a significant amount of map preparation.
We get Gorunk on the ceiling as well. I don't know how he got there twice.
Yeah, unless there is a death, which we hope not, or a massive difference early, like 5 points plus. I would not read into the score difference too much until about an hour or so, as players have different routes, and as a result the pacing of the way that they do bosses is different, right? Again, the players are prepared to kill bosses, kill as many as they can in 2 hours, not in 15 minutes, right?
Now, the thing is, DRRaven tried to fight the Ghost Flame Dragon here with the Fox. Didn't get a very great damage output. He could have switched for like Godric's, which he just got, like the Axe of Godric. Would have been better damage, but he elects to just let it go for now. It's a boss that is easy to just not do right now because you have a Grace right next to him, so it's fine. Yeah. You're not gonna lose much time.
We saw Mokyx skip it, right? It's not I would have skipped it.
Yeah, if I only have Falks, for sure.
Yeah.
And here we go, the hardest boss, the most experienced boss.
Actually, a really great use of the Revenger's Blade there. I think this is the big question here. No, okay. I was curious if Mokyx was going to go back to Roundtable to check Patch's bell bearing, because if that had something good, it could really be pivotal in this game here.
It's interesting that he didn't do it. Like, doing patches this early usually is with that intention. Especially because he killed Grenal. He never
possible
checked the shop.
He just wants more runes. He only has 17k, so it's possible he just wants a few more runes before he goes back to buy. I don't know if he's already, I don't believe he's already bought his Stone Sword keys, so those alone are 12k, right? I think that Killing Mist wasn't cheap. I think that was a couple thousand, so he might just not have enough money to buy everything that he wants to buy at the current moment. Trying to kill a couple more bosses here just so that he can get everything he wants in one go at Roundtable.
Yeah, let's see the Crucible Knight here fight for Mokyx. Also quite slower than it could have been because Fox is slash damage, and you see the armor on the Crucible Knight is very good against slash damage. So like against the Crucible Knight, you usually want to use Pierce or Strike. Pierce is the best, Strike is the second best, but Fox is slash, so it took a bit longer than Mokyx would have liked, but it's better than not kill it, right? So he's moving already to kill it. I wonder if he's gonna go all the way to the Dragon Barrel Merchant as well.
Maybe. I actually don't like that. I do like this on poor weapon seeds. Like, you can kill the Pumpkinhead duo, which is one fight with lower scaling, but then you can go ahead and run all the way to that Dragon Barrel Merchant, check the Merchant. Also, if it's easy, it's another Dragon Barrel scaled boss, which could drop a ton of runes. Also, Mars Malloway, thank you so much for the Prime. I really appreciate the support. Welcome in. It's great to meet you.
Yeah, we're seeing DRRaven here going to the catacomb that chains itself with patches as well. So we're having like the players kind of like retracing each other's steps, so to speak. Mokyx going here to Groveside Cave, killing the pumpkin. It's his 5th boss now, and I believe he's gonna go now to the Everjail.
Yeah, the other thing too I want to point out is I feel like the map well, not the map progress, but the extra looting that the players have done really has not paid off in spades here. They haven't found anything fantastic, and I think it's going to be a big question of like, when do you just bite the bullet, right, and just say, you know what, I'm going to deal with what I have and I need to start killing, right?
Yeah.
And it looks like the answer is about now, right? Still trying to like weave in some checks, but we see Mokyx here being a bit more aggressive, starting to go for just bosses, in forgoing just the setup and looting.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where you cannot let the perfect be the enemy of the good, right? Like Foxes might not be like the best weapon for every situation, but it is a good enough weapon that you can specialize in and still have like a very good pace. And also, as you keep going, eventually you will find other things, right? Like they already found some things, nothing fantastic, but that could prove useful down the line.
Yeah, both of them just really focusing on the Limgrave here. Mokyx now has money. Surprised to see him not instantly go back to Roundtable.
Yeah, he's going for the catacomb. I've done that in the past. If I didn't find they have Fox at +8, both of them.
Yeah.
So if I'm going back only for +10, especially if I'm doing Limgrave bosses. +9, +8 is not gonna be that big of a difference. We know that there is a +25 in the Coastal Cave, which is the place that Mokyx didn't go yet, but MrDrRaven did. So I believe DRRaven's probably, after killing Patches, is probably gonna go to Roundtable and check his shops.
Yeah, I agree that like when on when the setup is not as good, it is smart to do some extra looting. My point is just that they've done it, right? They've done a ton of extra looting, right? At what point do you just say, I gotta go, right? And like I said, it seems to be about now. I would expect.
I see Mokyx actually has a +7 Fox.
Yeah,
maybe close.
Yeah, we see DRRaven here now going back to Roundtable. He's gonna go ahead and get up to +10, and also we will see what is in that Patches bell bearing. Dude, he has so many bell bearings.
Giving them all at once here.
Ringed Finger from Bernal. Patches has, man, there's so many +25 stones. I actually would have bought that larval tier. Having the option to respec is really nice. Winged Greathorn buy it, does not buy it. Looking at the power stance great axes, I think that's their best setup right now.
I saw an item there that I would have bought, but it's not useful. It's just good. The Ansbach attire.
Yes, you can cosplay
I would
your
use
favorite
it.
NPC. Yes.
Yeah, if there is nothing else that is useful as a chest piece, I'm using it. I don't care. I hope in our game we have a class with Ansbach attire with a good weapon as well. Otherwise, it's not gonna be good.
I hope it's on a terrible class and you pick it anyways because you want to cosplay.
Maybe it pays off. I don't know. Maybe it pays off.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I feel like both the players have done a fair amount of map progress, set up a little bit in the advantage of Mokyx. And now they are both getting up to max level, and this is where the killing spree begins.
little bit of a tricky situation here, but he got in the right order. Like Kindred of Rot dealt with. Now he only needs to be worried about the Misbegotten, who is like the one that can hit the hardest. But the Kindred of Rot can snipe you with those. You know what he spews, right? Like you just saw it. I'm not gonna say anything. And I believe Mokyx is going for Margit. Margit is an interesting boss to go this early, because depending on the boss that is here, you're gonna get some like a good amount of runes. If it's a remembrance boss, you might get like something close to 20,000. But more often than not, it's just a little bit. Good greed on the Deathrite Bird. He was about to do the explosion, and that can one-shot you depending on the situation. Not here in Lingrave, but it is a lot of damage. So that was a good greed because he was about to kill it.
All right. Yeah, this is an interesting line. This is like the Pearl line that Mokyx is doing.
Yeah. Pearl likes to do this. Pearl, who won Deathless Randomizer League in Season 1, he likes to do weeping this way. Like, while DRRaven, I believe, is doing like the most traditional route that includes not only weeping, but all the southern Lingrave that kind of takes in that direction. It's a bit
there
of
is
a
Dancer of Ana, so Battle of the Curved Swords here. Battle of the Dual Curved Swords, Falks versus Dancing Blades. And this looks... She's really trivial on low. She gets so dangerous on high scaling. On low scaling, most of her damage just gets eaten up by your flat damage resistances. She really kind of tickles. It's the same thing for like Relana as well. But when they get to high scaling, they do not play. We see a Moji, the OG Lord of Blood there.
This is a great weapon. This is a great weapon to have for Moog, Lord of Blood, because he's gonna bleed at least once here, and you have like all the opportunities.
He kind of made some mistakes though. He was going for the charged R2s to try to get the stance break, but your damage should be more than good enough with Limgrave scaling. I think he would have just been better off just swinging, jump attacks in L1 or R1 chain, right? So that will definitely cost him a fair bit of time on this fight. Jagged Peak Drake here. Because he
replacing Aguil. So basically GLC Aguil in place of base game Aguil.
Yeah, I'm very confident that Mokyx could have one cycled there. I mean, we saw once he got the opportunity to tee off just how good that damage was when he wasn't going for the charge R2s, but does get it down. That is a bit of a time loss, and kind of some stuff that we'll be focusing on here early, right? With the players having different routing, it's really hard to judge their pace head to head in terms of just score watching. But looking for, some major time losses, 10, 15, 30 seconds or more, right? Is really kind of the difference that we'll be looking for here to try to differentiate between the competitors.
Yeah, DRRaven, he's probably gonna pull off the lead now, because there's a lot of fast bosses here. Like he's gonna get 10, 11, and then 12 on the average AO before Mokyx can get to the 11th. That's unfortunate that he had to go back to finalize the tibia, but
yeah, the teleport there.
Yeah, there are some like small time losses that you end up like taking in these runs, like in some bosses that they may not matter much in the grand scheme of things, but when you're doing it and trying to go as fast as possible, they're always a bit annoying. I saw Raven had to deal with like a riposte on the Drake that he didn't want. So like the rational thing is to not be too worried about it and just.
Yeah. I also will say good news for our players is that the bosses have been pretty trivial so far. Bad news is that it means the probability of getting more difficult bosses later is increased, right? So bit of a dual-edged sword there. We'll see if they actually do any of the harder bosses later. But if anything, you want to kind of see some of the harder bosses in Limgrave, right, where they are at their lowest scaling. Even a hard boss can be more or less a pushover in Limgrave. But maybe we'll see them later.
There on the way of DrRaven, there he had to dismount and look to make sure that he wasn't being followed.
Mokyx should have this. Jumped a little beautiful.
Now the problem with finding early bosses very easy as well is also like, especially after like how much looting both of the players did, like you start feeling, oh my god, is my pace good enough?
Yeah.
Can I actually catch up if they found something that I didn't find?
I mean, good news for both of our competitors here is while their routes were slightly different, both did commit to looting a lot early. And we see MrDrRaven there get the one cycle, no Nihil for the Moog, which, I mean, Mokyx probably lost 30 seconds there, so that's a pretty big advantage. We see Mokyx run into Invis Assassin here. I don't know if he has any weapons with tech for it, like an Alabaster's Lord's Pole or a butt slam or something is very good.
He could try the Ash of War on Axe of Godric.
Actually, that would be really good.
I believe it's I Command Thee New, the name of the Ash of War, that does an AoE. But he's doing very well with the Fox. Like
he's very impressive.
Very well. He's tracking very well. Like he knows where she's going.
Yeah. Also, the Ancestor Axe is very good because the debuff adds a particle effect that is visible on the assassin. Honestly, though, really nice for just using the Fox. Very well done.
Very well done. Tracked her. Like you see that it's something that he has experience dealing with, right? Because when it's in water, which is the intended location of Invisible Assassin, you can see better. But in this ground, it's much harder. You need to be being like very conscientious about the move set and how it's gonna be operating in the open field like that.
Also, heads up plays by both of our players here. DrRaven switching to the strike, and also one thing I've never even looked at, but Mokyx there, he's rapidly putting on and taking off the Blessed Dew talisman, which makes it heal faster, because it automatically heals you when it's equipped, and you can equip it and unequip it faster than it can actually heal. So really heads up little play there to just get a little bit of extra healing.
That's speedrun and hitless stacks.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Well, not hitless, because why would you need to heal on hitless?
Oh, because of fall damage.
I guess, yeah. Self damage, yeah.
Yeah, but Dawn gets destroyed by Fox.
Yeah, and I would say just based on what I'm seeing, like in time losses so far, I would say the edge is maybe slightly with DrRaven. But I think so far, about 30 minutes in here, we're shaping up to be a very close match. Very, very close match.
I mean, the whipping chain takes a bit longer in this part, right? Like DrRaven already did the part that is the fastest, like most dense in bosses. Mokyx still has to go to a guild, still has to go to Knight's Cavalry on the bridge, so it's very difficult to figure it out. Mokyx also went all the way to Rothville Balcony, which DRRaven didn't come close to yet. So it is very difficult
Yeah.
right now to figure out who's on the lead. What's good for both of them? Nobody has a weapon advantage, at least not anything that like they realized yet, like that they tried to make happen. Like maybe DRRaven did pull up the ringed finger, which is a strike weapon. So maybe in that department he would be a little bit ahead. I think he got that from Patches or from Bernal. So
here's Esker, which can be a dangerous boss, and throws out the fan daggers there, which normally is a great way. Normally throwing out dagger is a good way to just aggro Esker and not the dogs there, but the fan dagger split and hit the dogs as well. However,
he did very well there in how to kill the dogs though. Esker doesn't have much health.
He's still alive. Mokyx thought he was dead and started running, but no, he was still alive. Yeah.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. Yeah, he comes back for the golden seed as well.
I'll be curious to see what this merchant has. It's another opportunity for a big power spike, either with a slightly different weapon or like, I mean, a Rotten Wing Sword Insignia would go a long way with this weapon.
Yeah,
it would go
or
so long.
Well, Thorny can only drop from bosses.
Yeah,
but yeah. By the way, just people who don't know the format very well, the way this randomizer is set, remembrances and crystal tears, they can only drop from bosses. So if you're looking for one of those items, you need to be killing bosses. And now we have the Black Knife Assassin invisible here for DRRaven. It is gonna. Did he skip the merchant?
He skipped the drop, I think. I mean, it's hard to tell without audio cues, but he teleported really early. I think he skipped the drop.
He definitely skipped the drop, but I learned from Sci-Fi today that actually when you're running through this catacomb, you get the drop.
This is not the same catacomb though. He's at Death Touch right now. Tomb's Word, yes. But he is at Death Touch. Also, DRRaven is not nearly having as clean of an Invis Assassin fight as Mokyx did. I mean, you're always going to lose some time here. It's never going to be perfect, but Mokyx did an incredible job.
Got a good one now.
All right, DRRaven gets it down, but that fight was definitely a good chunk, a healthy chunk of time in the advantage of Mokyx.
Now I believe Mokyx also skipped the merchant. I was focused on DRRaven at that point, but I didn't see him like going there. I think he went straight to the boss. Maybe I'm mistaken.
No, he went to the merchant. There was Godslayer's Greatsword there, which Mokyx was taking a look at. Honestly, with the Prophet Star, it does scale with Dex as your primary physical attribute. It does get a little bit of strength scaling, but mostly a Dex Faith weapon. And considering they started Prophet and are leveling Dex with the Falks, like I don't think it's a bad option to use, right? We see Mokyx now going into Liurnia. I think this will be the first boss that we see either of these players kill in Liurnia. So obviously scaling goes up quite a bit. Things do become, well, not entirely dangerous. No longer just trade and win. I will say though, interesting choice
to come to this cave right now.
And I will say I've seen a lot of people die. This cave is a little scary. I've seen, particularly if there's a crow on the left side here or something of that nature, you can get pushed off the ledge very easily. And there was a Siluria there that tried to take a poke at him. It did miss, but if that connected, I don't know, very good chance he could have gone catapulting to his death there.
He even healed despite not getting hit because he thought he would.
Yeah, that was pretty damn close. I think he might have landed on the ledge. I wonder if Mokyx is choosing to go here because of the weapons, and he is rewarded there. Rakshasa's great katana.
And the Gravebird armor.
But it's the wrong Gravebird armor. This Gravebird armor does not have the jump attack buff. It is the Tranquil Feathers that is needed for the jump attack buff. But still, Rakshasa's is a big pickup. And without all the buffs there, I would definitely say that is an upgrade for sure. I think if you had a bunch of multi-hit stuff, I would prefer Falks, but given their current setup, I would take Rock any day. That being said, though, like you can use both, right? You really can use both when it makes sense.
This was a very nice switch, though. Borealis would not be good with Fox or Rakshasa's Great Katana because he's very resistant to slash or pierce, but not that resistant to, I believe, it's standard damage on the God Slayer Greatsword, and he goes down quickly there. That I think if power stance is not allowed, I think Rakshasa is easily a top 10 weapon for this format, despite the fact that it's kind of specialized.
I will say power stance Rakshasa is pretty good too.
I saw you doing that.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
It looks awful because the jump attack on it just looks terrible. It's like a right to left swipe rather than overhead. It feels very strange, but the damage cooks.
Yeah, the thing is just that I'm thinking like power stancing as like not coming out of warrior.
Yeah.
Like if you don't get those two off rip, you're probably not getting them because there's only 3 in the game. There's only 3 Great Katanas in the game, so.
MrDrRaven also does pick up the God Slayers as well. Mokyx choosing not to do that catacomb, so he's never going to go back for it then. It is a somewhat longer catacomb, like it's not completely unreasonable to skip it, but it is, if you're going to go for it, you do it right after that avatar, otherwise it's a no-fly zone.
That's interesting. Sometimes I leave that chain for last precisely because I may not have time to do the catacomb, so I go for the fastest boss there. But usually I wait to see what my pace is. Maybe that's a bit premature, but on the other hand, Mokyx knows that like with Nocron, he has a path to Altus that doesn't require finding Dectus, so maybe he doesn't want to linger too much in the early regions and wants to prep himself to have like a better pace in the late game. It's hard to know. Like I said, these routes are a bit different than what we, like me and Hooser do. So it is a little bit more based on their decisions to like prioritize that region or that particular boss.
Yeah, pace if you've seen some other matches, the pace definitely is a little bit slower in this one so far. I do also think that is a massive byproduct of just the weapons, right? They did extra looting because the weapons weren't very good at the start. It didn't pay off for either of them, right? Like it's really hard to compare pace across seeds, right? Just looking at the qualifiers, we had some seeds that were won with the highest score was 78, and other seeds where the highest score was 86. So you can't always judge. You can't really judge performance based on score from seed to seed, because this is definitely just weapon and item wise one of the more difficult ones that I have seen. So I think the most difficult one I've seen so far in the playoffs, or the least juiced. But a Dectus half there for DRRaven.
Yeah, that's a Dectus half that I don't believe Mokyx will miss on. Like that Everjail is, well, there is a reason why we go to Weeping, right? Like there's 8 very fast bosses there because they are very low scaled, and it's never gonna be like a bad idea to do those early and maybe find the things that you might need in the late game, and Dectus is one of them. Although with a Nocron Grace, maybe you don't care that much about finding Dectus.
I think on this seed you do, though. Like on seeds where the pace is really good, I think I would just go Nocron over Dectus, honestly, because I want the extra bosses along the way. You can get 4 bosses along the way. But given that this is just a slower seed due to the weapons, like I think Dectus would be a pretty big advantage. Not determinative, but significant.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, Nokron is a path to Altus that does require killing a few fairly stronger bosses. The replacement for Mimic Cheer, for Valiant Gargoyles, and uh, for
Fierce
Fierce
Champs.
Champions.
And you also
So
get access to Siluria replacement, which is quite a quick pickup. Mokyx here, I mean, they're both of them, well, but Mokyx especially is still every item, every shiny he can get, he's going after it. Deathrite Bird here for DRRaven can always be scary, especially because you chase this guy around in this arena. It could be very easy to accidentally get knocked off a ledge, but actually it's very good RNG so far. Does not seem to be going into the Nuke of Death move, and DRRaven gets the kill there very nicely. Great job by him. Great fight.
Yeah, I think the reason why he didn't switch to the ringed finger here is probably because he already leveled quite a bit of dex, so he has more damage out of the Fox, even though this boss is strong against Slash.
Yeah, I don't think it's super worth switching. Like,
yeah, because the ring finger isn't that great in terms of damage anyway.
Yeah, if it was Gazing Finger, I would feel differently, but yeah. Hammers,
Gazing
standard hammers
Finger.
in this game.
No, I'm asking now. I'm asking now, Forsa. I'm probably not gonna win the game against Hooser, but can we get a warrior with 2 gazing fingers and Ansbach tire? Just so I have some fun.
I will tell you, no, because fates are sealed. Forza sent me a DM. Every single seed for every single playoff match has been created and plugged into the system. It is just yeah. It is. We have no. He doesn't know what they are, obviously, but you know, we just await our fates. But the seeds have already been created for every single matchup all the way through the grand finals.
Okay, in that case, I hope it's just one gazing finger at, I don't know, like Vagabond with Ansbach tire. You can go with like whatever Omen Killer Cleaver in Warrior, like you can do your jumps. I just want to do the gazing finger. I only had one seed that I played in practice with the gazing finger, one of my favorite weapons, and it was a seed that had Bloodfiend Zard. So not even in that seed I would have won. So
Power stance anyway. Power stance him.
I wanted to do only the finger. Sometimes the Rambler just want to have fun, and they're tied in Dectus now. Now, interestingly, we get to see if DRRaven skips the Catacomb here or not.
Yeah, if he doesn't and it drops something big, that could be a big advantage, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, a Dectus half, one of the big 3 Great Runes, Morgoth's, Radon's, Godric's, or Thorny Cracked here especially.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like all sorts of opportunities if well, he doesn't know that it was skipped, but we know that it would make a huge difference in his favor.
And it looks like he's not going to skip. He is running straight in.
Yeah, I think that's one of the situations where you don't want to take the riposte like out of habit, but I think the riposte would have probably killed at that spot. But yeah, it is like we comment like this, like we are like, but we know, right? Who's like, we know how stressful it is to try to go fast like this, like, and it's amazing how good people get at doing this so consistently.
Yeah.
Like both players here, like over 20 bosses killed, even though they had to loot a whole lot in the beginning. And they're gonna get even higher very fast here, like
yeah, because they have a lot of maps set up.
Yeah, like we're gonna blink and they'll be at 40 each.
And the other thing too is that, like, I mean, this is where it's a little difficult for, like, you know, any caster, right? Because we all have our routes that we are preferential towards, right? But one of the things that I've always said, both, you know, in this and also to like whenever newer players ask me like, yo, like, how do I get good at this stuff, right? It is super important that you find a route that is good for you, right? Like, you know, the route that I run, for example, hinges a lot upon, you know, very strong boss execution, right? But it's not the right route for a lot of people, right? And I think it's very important that you find the route that works for you, because again, goal is to kill stuff in 2 hours, right? So just because you know, it's different from what you might have seen from me or whatever, this is the route that has gotten these players here, and a lot of freaking amazing players didn't make it here. So you know, they're sticking to their guns, and that's the correct call.
And a bit of like calculated greed here against the Putrid Tree Spirit in the catacomb.
I love to
got
see that.
rotten, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
and
you know,
the only reward outside of the point was the explosive physic tier, which you should not use on Tibia Mariners. I repeat, do not use those on Tibia Mariners. they can murder you.
Rambler has some PTSD with losing a bingo square because of the explosive physic on a Tibia Mariner. But
Right up in the air.
you know, I love to see that calculated greed. You know, I thought it was funny because I was watching a bit of Gino's commentary earlier, and he was like, "Man, that fight was so clean." And like, yeah, it was hitless and beautiful. And I was like, "But he could have greeted more. Like, he could have traded, and it would have been faster."
Okay. Who can guess what the boss is here? Who can guess?
I didn't even see it. It's Fire Giant, I'm guessing. What is it? I wasn't looking.
You didn't see it. Okay,
No, I didn't. Estelle, yeah. So yeah, if you're watching Gino commentary, he will appreciate the beautiful hitless fights. I will appreciate the fights where people get hit in order to save time. Little opposite end of the coin here from the commentators.
Dancer gets destroyed by Rakshasa's weed cutter.
Yeah, I love to see NPCs die by their own hand, but get the treatment back on them. It's so satisfying, right? Because how many times I'm sure with all the people in chat, we've probably died to weed cutter 1,000 times plus. So it's good to see 1 point for the good guys, right? Weed cuttering Rakshasa.
I hope Mokyx finds Rakshasa herself and uses it on her. That would be ideal.
Yeah, for anyone just coming in here, if you're wondering why these scores are a little bit lower than you would maybe normally expect to see at this point, it is because the seed has been, it's not a good seed. This is a very difficult seed based on the weapons that are available. Both the players decided to do some extra looting, which I believe was the correct call given the weapons available to the players, and it didn't pay off, right, for either of them. Just for that reason, scores are a little bit lower than you might have seen in some other matches, but it's just the seed. You play the seed you're given to you, right?
The scores are low now,
but not crazy low, not like super low.
Both players are on pace to get like more than 70.
Yeah, both players are on pace for 70 plus for sure. Because they also have a fair amount of things set up. Like Mokyx in particular, my fear is that he forgets something. Because he's been... This is something that I don't normally do, but I actually think is optimal. Like, he's pivoting around a lot to different regions to prioritize, like, getting checks and things. I really like to clear regions out because I'm terrified that I will forget about something. But if you don't forget about things, like, it is a smart way to move through the map, right?
The tibia went up.
The tibia flew. Rambler has trauma, but he gets it down. And also, Dragonkin Soldier of Noxtella here for DRRaven. Barrett needs to be a little careful just because he's super close to a frost proc. That plus a big attack could put him in a fair bit of trouble, but he's doing very nicely. One more R1 will kill. Great job. Great fight.
Yeah, he saved it there. You do need to respect Noxtella a little bit if he gets the phase transition off.
Yeah,
like that is the most dangerous situation.
Also, we do have a little bit of inside baseball here from Surf. as he is watching Raven's stream as well. Thank you for the info. Apparently Raven is looking for a sacred tier, or not a sacred tier, a larval tier in order to respec. Do you know what he's looking to respec to by chance? Surf. If he has a good pivot, it makes sense. But there was one available at one of the shops earlier that he did not buy, so that's definitely unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is one, like we saw in.
Yeah, we saw one, but I think he just skipped over it and doesn't remember, which is very easy to do under pressure, right? I mean, the pressure here is very high. If you were watching the Forsa match yesterday, Forsa's heart rate was higher at points during his DRL match than it was when he was on world record pace for any percent glitchless. So it's a very stressful thing, especially if you're not super used to being in a head-to-head format like this. Also, you know, thousands of people watching, or at least between like the French and the English broadcast, and I believe there's a German broadcast as well from Gustav, right? This is a situation that you might not have been in before. DRRaven and Mokyx both have, but regardless, like, it's hard to be ready for this type of a thing, right? It's a much different level of pressure that you're playing under than you normally do, right?
Well, Mokyx finally finds the X talisman. He doesn't have like well, he does have Rakshasa, which like the charge attack can be very nice in some spots, but it's not like the ideal thing you want to find when you've been running mostly Fox. And look at that. The first boss in our routes usually is the death. Oh my god, DRRaven.
Yeah, DRRaven's, I mean, he still has plenty of heals, but definitely gotten a little bit of trouble there with the Fell Twins. This is not a great weapon for them because normally you're super used to micro staggering the piss out of them, and this weapon does not micro stagger.
I think the jump R2 does, but you don't want to be doing the jump R2 that much, right? Like you want to do the one that like builds bleed very, very fast. But yeah, like, I think Mokyx is pulling ahead a little bit here. Now that he cashed in on some of the bosses that are faster. But I don't know if that's like a very clear lead, because DRRaven did do some bosses that are like some checks.
Oh, and there's PCR phase 2. Mokyx looks like he's gonna run back and grab the Grace here, or is he just gonna skip it? He's indecision. I will say indecision is the enemy. If you're in the league or just curious, like, one of the biggest advantages in this is being decisive. You got to make a call right away. You know, that little bit of indecision can definitely cost you. And you can see, you know, his line got squirrely there, kind of ran around in circles a little bit, lost a fair amount of time running. Would have, obviously, you know, if he died, that would have been very bad. But probably, assuming that he doesn't die, would have just been better off committing to the fight with maybe a little bit lower damage than he would have wanted, or just immediately grabbing the Grace, because he probably lost maybe 10 seconds even due to that indecision, right?
Yeah, I think in those situations, I mean, every player knows their limits, right? Like, at this particular point, I would have done the PCR phase 2, even though I don't like that boss. I don't want to fight that boss ever. But if I decide that I'm not gonna do it now, I'm probably not gonna do it ever. Right? Like, I'm just not gonna get the Grace. I don't care. That's a boss I want to be doing, right? I feel like that's like the level of decision that sometimes you need to have even before you see the boss. Like, okay, if I find this guy, I'm not gonna do it.
We do see DRRaven going back here for the Ghostflame Dragon in Limgrave. I mean, it's actually crazy. Some bosses with the randomizer that just, this guy is a tank lord. Always. I mean, you have strike damage, granted not a lot of strength, but this is a plus 10 weapon in Limgrave, and this guy is just a complete tank lord. Also, we see the Liurnia Deathrite bird here. It is Crucible Knight and a Crystallion. Dude, this... I feel like I know Crucibles are tanky, and it's in water, but I feel like the damage here on the Godslayers is a little disappointing.
Oh yeah, it is not working that great, but one thing that would have been better here, I think Rakshasa would have performed better, just because of the pierce damage.
Yep.
That is better against Crucible Knights. Obviously, it wouldn't be the best now for the Crystalian, but
yeah,
you could switch.
Yeah, just as a general rule of thumb, this is not like you know, you should, if you're really trying to get in the weeds, you want to, you know, really study every boss and its resistance profile, right? But as a general rule of thumb, pierce damage is good against heavily armored bosses because it pierces through their armor, right? There's some logic in this game. There's also there's also the logic of Death's Poker is a Harry Potter magic wand that makes things go boom, right?
If you're very familiar with the codes of fighting in medieval Europe, you should know that the damage type.
Yeah, you could either study the boss resistance profile or you could just, you know, watch medieval European combat, apparently.
Yeah. Although you do need to get some like extra courses on katanas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We see DRRaven coming to the other side.
And DRRaven, man, he got the harder jump of the skip, but then failed it, and now has missed it twice. This is... Alright, he gets it. Hey, Rambler, I hate to say it, but he still saved time.
He did it.
All right, whatever. Ramblers and I, one of our, probably our biggest point of disagreement is whether that skip is logical at all. Rambler hates it.
I mean, it's not illogical. It's just your tolerance for failure.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, and we do see another Ghost Flame Dragon right here for Mr. DRRaven. Oh, this damage is putrid.
No.
Missed the jump attack on the head there.
I think the God's Lair would do better here.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing, though, is that this will do much better stance damage. I actually expected that jump attack on the head to stagger.
It's not that easy on a normal hammer. It's not a great hammer, so... But he did get it.
Yeah, and once he did get the stagger, and honestly, once you get the stagger, you are able to tee off so much on that head. Really nice fight there. Really nice job by DRRaven. That easily could have been an extra 30 seconds to a minute, but a very clean fight there. We see Mokyx is actually running and going to set up Bellum here. We'll get access to another merchant that I don't think we have seen yet today.
Yeah, the Bellum merchant. And very soon, the other Kaled merchant as well for DRRaven.
Nothing good there. There was a Stone Sword key, maybe a Lost Ashes of War if you were looking to dupe.
He didn't buy the Stone Sword key.
I mean, he might have enough for his route and just says, I'm good. Save the money. Yeah. I think he hovered over it for a second, so he might have looked and then seen that he had enough and then just said, all right, I'll save my money.
True. But that's good information to have. Like, that means he is able to do whatever he wants to do in Altus, because at this point he already I don't know.
Well,
I don't
Precipice is not necessarily necessary. I would expect the player, like, Nokron's much better than Precipice. I still would prefer Dectus in this situation, given that it's been a slower, just a lower scoring seed. I think if pace, like I said earlier, if pace is great, I would prefer Nokron, but given just where the players are at right now in terms of pace, but honestly, like, pace is really catching up. Like, Mokyx is not gonna be that far away. Like, both of them are on pace for 70s for sure. Mokyx will really not even be that far away from
Idrik just
at the hour point.
Completely bullied by Rakshasa. Like, just completely bullied.
I'm surprised to see that Mokyx is running this way already. Normally I would want to wait on these checks just to see, like, I used to run a similar route. I've dropped the Bellum route in favor of the right side Liurnia route, where you do some crazy skips. But when I'm doing this route, I would normally hold off on these checks until the very end. Because if I get Dectus and Kaled, let's say, then I can set up the Dectus elevator or the Dectus lift before I commit to these checks, and it overall is faster. But Mokyx is saying, screw it, I will just go now, which I mean is fine. It's not, there's not anything very wrong, like there's not anything objectively wrong with it, because you can always run back to the Dectus lift. I just think normally we see players wait on these checks just in hopes of getting Dectus elsewhere, and then they can set up the lift before running to this check. Or these set of checks.
That much time, and he's thinking maybe like if I don't find Dectus, like I'm doing Nocron anyway, so
yeah. And like, he's not the only one with this line of thinking. I don't know if NPT was actually doing it, but he was saying, like, back when people were still running this route and it was the most common route, he was saying, I think I'm just gonna run to Frenzy Church every time, and then I'll just run from Frenzy Church to Dectus. It's not like that big of a difference.
Interesting that he goes to the Catacomb first. Usually people go to the other boss first. He also dismounts here,
because he doesn't have.
I understand why. I've died here.
I think it's because he doesn't have that many runes right now, and is basically just saying, like, you know what, I don't have to sit here to level. I'm not going to waste that much when I Mog, because you always do. You always Mog in this Catacomb.
That is true. Maybe that's the reason. Yeah.
And by the way, we are closing in at the hour mark with a pretty much exactly even score here with our competitors, 33-33. Mokyx has a very slight timer advantage just due to load times, and also a little map advantage as well.
Oh, but this place we know is...
Oh, Omen Killer. Wow. Oh my God, it's awful. And he's somehow not gotten hit. What?
What the hell? Is he Neo?
He's Neo.
Neo, we found you.
That was crazy. Dude, he looked like
he gets hit by a small arrow.
Yeah, he looked like Zoodle in the Zero Hit League, where Zoodle is very famous for just running blindly through danger and somehow not getting hit. He did that perfectly.
That was amazing. Now, Fox is gonna shine a lot against this guy.
There was a guy there? The Pillsbury Doughboy?
The guy Skin Noble. He was made skin out of it.
Oh, and here's Fia's champs actually for DRRaven. Fox is a great weapon for Fia's champs though.
Yeah, I was about to say that it's gonna be faster than normal.
But he actually decides to switch to the Beast Claw Greyhammer. Does it have an Ash of War? That I'm surprised at this decision, because Fox is really good for NPCs. I do like Greyhammer R1s for NPCs. Actually, that Ash is strong. Oh my God, though, he's in trouble. Roger is not playing. He's down to 3 heals left. Still has half a health bar on Roger and 3 NPCs to go. This is dicey.
This is
oh
sketchy.
Man, he gets tagged again. Gonna be not even at a full health bar, only with 2 heals left. Okay, only 1 heal remaining now. This is icy for sure.
Now the good thing is this is an open field, so if he feels he might die, he can probably leave.
Yeah, but it's just so hard to leave in this fight, right? You've committed so much time here just to run away. It's so, like, you always can do it, but it's so hard to do.
Okay,
oh, gets blasted by the skulls down to... Oh, he has to run. He has to run.
Oh my God, this is a disaster. Even though he didn't die, he lost so much time.
Yeah, he just lost so much time. And he had to even grab that Grace, couldn't do the skip, because that skip you take fall damage, which would have, well, it doesn't normally kill you, that he was low enough that the fall damage would have killed him. So he even had to run up to the church to grab the grace there. I mean, great job avoiding the death, because that would have, you know, unless there's a death from Mokyx, that would have been game over. But massive time loss there.
In the meantime, Mokyx having to deal with this putrid boss. But Weedcutter takes care of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the most significant time loss that we've seen today for sure.
He is not necessarily an auto skip, but
yeah, not necessarily. I mean, it's always a tough fight. I'm not sure how many flasks he had going into that fight, because I don't think he was at full, because there was he did the Knight's Cap beforehand, right?
Yeah. This catacomb is a little bit bad to do.
Yeah, this second Halid chain has been really unkind to DRRaven here.
Now the good thing is it's very unlikely that Mokyx won't go there, so maybe the time loss gets like neutralized. But there is one thing though. Mokyx has Rakshasa's Great Katana, which is the best weapon we've seen so far to deal with NPCs.
Yeah.
So it's less likely that that time loss is gonna be the same level.
Yeah, but it's not just that though. There were the ghost flames that cost a bunch of time, right? Like this whole area has been very unkind to DRRaven here. Like Crucible Knights, just tanky bosses that have really allowed Mokyx to get a pretty big pace advantage, while also setting up you know, up 1, gonna be 2 in just a second on the scoreboard. But also has map. Like, I think still a lot of Lando left to be played, but as of right now, I would say the match is on the side of Mokyx here.
DRRaven now going to the Deathbird, I believe, and he might find PCR as well. The boss in Deathbird was a Miranda Flower. Usually that's the first boss I do, and Hooser as well, on our routes. So it would have been like a very nice start with whatever weapon we have, because it's just a flower.
Granted, it gives
and
like
the second one is a
tanky.
Yeah. But with Fox, in the start you at least get the bleed, because in this game flowers bleed for some reason.
I mean, a Venus flytrap has the blood of its enemies.
Yeah,
You see
I'm
Elden
sure they were
Remembrance
thinking-
and Great Arsenal Jar. Actually a really helpful talisman in this format. Not necessarily with the build the players have at this point, but given how meta the power stance jump attack builds are, anything that you can get to just give you a little bit of extra equip loads, that way you can still have the nice defenses from the armor and the offenses by virtue of running 2 weapons. It is very valuable just on this seed, unless the players had the option earlier on to commit to the Winged Greathorn and Axe of Godric jump attack. Neither of them did, so likely will not be super relevant here, unless, I mean, DRRaven has one Great Hammer. If he was to find another, it looks like he also just saw PCR and just said, nope, have a nice day, good sir.
Basically got the grace beforehand, so that's gonna be not that big of a deal. He can come back later.
Yeah, players they don't have to go now, right? They still have plenty of time, but at this hour point is where, the Altus path has to creep into the mind of the players here. They need to start thinking about Nokron a little bit, because Nokron does take quite a while to run through. Normally the rule of thumb is you want to be in Altus with 30 minutes remaining. so that you can full clear everything in Altus, is that is well higher scaled. The boss density is super high, and just a massive opportunity to get a ton of points there. So I'm sure the players are starting to think about, well, first off, can I get this other deck this half? And if not, when do I need to commit to Nokron?
Yeah, that needs to be the consideration right now. They have prepped a little bit of like options to keep hunting for Dectus, but the time looms large and you never know if you're gonna find it. You're probably not gonna at this point, so need to be cognizant of that and maybe go Nokron a bit earlier than you would like. I'm gonna explain Madrigal. So Nokron is a grace that is right before the Mimic Cheer boss. So it is an underground location that if you keep going after you kill the Mimic Cheer, if you keep going you get to the Valiant Gargoyles. And after that you get to another area, which is the Deep Root Depths, that leads you to Fierce Champions. Fierce Champions guards a teleport that puts you straight inside a Leyndell Royal Capital. So that means you can get to Altus Plateau right from there, instead of like getting either Dectus Lift or running all the way to Magma Worm Makar. And Scadu Altus is the other grace that they have available in this seed. That's DLC, so that's probably not gonna be touched.
There are, as well with the seed launching, players get access to 2 random graces at the start, right, of the game. Some of them have more utility than others. Nokron is probably the 4th most valuable grace that you can get in that list of 10. Scadu Altus being probably the 2nd worst, or maybe 3rd. If you are curious, you can check out the League website for the full list of all the graces and any additional rules if you want to read through that for yourself. But we can also answer questions for you. We're more than happy to.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, everybody who has questions, please ask, like, because we are so in tune with like the whole tournament and everything that we have we say things and like we assume everybody knows because we've been doing this for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, not everybody knows, obviously.
I think Raven's game froze because of the Catacomb. It's standard. Well, now his stream just froze, but it's you can get some really big FPS drops in Catacombs because of bosses spawning in like a wall and glitching out. Malformed Star is one of the best examples. Frippa, I'm gonna wait a minute just to answer Frippa's question, as we did just go to ads. So I will answer Frippa. I'll just wait until the ads run because I want to make sure you hear the answer. All right, Mokyx here does have the 2-point lead, but he is going to this FSB chain, which is traditionally really fast, but we know because of the bosses on this seed that it can be bad. So we'll see if he suffers a similar time loss to DRRaven.
Yeah. Also, the Ghost Flame Dragon right now, like there's gonna be like some opportunities for Mokyx to lose some time here.
Because I'm not sure where. I don't know where that Beastclaw Great Hammer appeared from.
I think that was one of the. I think it was one of the early merchants, maybe Kale.
Mokyx does take an extra second there to just set up and align that skip, but got it beautifully.
Yeah, that's safe time.
This seed is definitely cruel, Nix. This is definitely like the players are playing. They're playing very, very well. The only reason this seed is it's lower scoring because of the seed, not because of the players. Also, Frippa, I believe you should be back from ads now. Sorry about that, guys. You guys know how it is. We have to run ads, but I hate doing it. The precipice is just really slow, right? Not always do you hit 80, but it is kind of a magic number that players use for pace, right? Very rare. It's not super common that you do hit it, but if you're looking at 80 pace, that means you're killing a boss every 1 minute and 30 seconds. And just the run through precipice takes about 5. So while you do get access to Altus, you just basically are spending over 3 bosses worth of running time. Over 3 bosses worth of time, or about 3 bosses worth of time, 2.5 for just 1 boss, right? Or no, I guess 3.5. 3.5 and you get 1. So you lose about 2 bosses worth of pace. It's more or less a -2 compared to like a Deathless Seed. And is really avoidable.
Or other ways. Yeah, so if there is a grace that you can use to get to Altus alternatively, it's gonna be better than doing Makar, because it takes that long. Also, Dectus Halves, they can drop from bosses, but they are also in key item locations. So Academy Key, Imbued Sword Key, they could have a Dectus Half. So it's not guaranteed that the players are gonna find it. Yeah, actually, at this point, we know many of the checks that they did, like they didn't do the same ones. It's becoming increasingly unlikely that they will find both halves.
Yeah, it is just part of the game in terms of sometimes you find Dectus, sometimes you don't. There are certain checks that where it can be at that are just not reasonable. For example, the only actual key item check that anyone's ever going to do is Academy, because it's just right there. Like, people are not running to Fort Height to check to beg for a key, right? It's just simply too slow. And as a result, sometimes it is just, while not impossible, not realistic for players to actually get Dectus, and they have to react to that, whether that means running Precipice or other graces.
Well,
Forsa specifically wants us to not, so
yeah,
I could try to figure it out, but nah, he wants us to not know and react see it in real time with you guys.
It is.
Yes, Bob, it is pre-Altus only. It is pre-Altus only, so you cannot find the Dectus medallion in Altus, for example. The exception to that, though, is you can find the Academy key anywhere. That can be literally anywhere. That one is less relevant than the Dectus. It does save a minute or so if you get it in terms of just your routing, but it is not nearly as relevant.
Yeah. Both players already pretty much they didn't care about like saving that find. Like, if they find Academy keys, it's not gonna matter.
By the way, that was a little hairy there for DrRaven on the Crucible Knight, but got through it. And man, we still have a very close game. Mokyx is up 1 at the current moment and has a very slight timer advantage. This game is based off of the player's in-game time, so whenever you are in a load screen due to warping, that time does not count against you. It just evens out if there is a PC difference, right? If you have slow load times because of a lesser PC, it doesn't affect you, which is very nice, but that's why we see a little bit of a difference there in terms of the time left for the players. I think this is going to be a very telling moment in the match here. Mokyx is about 2 bosses away from going into those FIA's champions. MrDrRaven had a massive time loss there. Does Mokyx have a similar time loss? And if he does kill them, do they drop a Dectus half? Do they drop Godric's Great Rune, right? Something that could give a significant amount of power and swing the tide of this match in his favor.
I didn't see anybody getting a Great Rune as well. Like, maybe
I have not seen at least any of the relevant ones.
Maybe Rykard, I don't know.
There are only 3 great runes that are relevant. With the others, the just 10% health buff that you get from having a great rune without any, or having a rune arc without any great rune equipped is better.
Oh, there was the Blitzcrawl great hand.
Yeah, there
It
was
actually right there.
But yeah, players will only use Godric's Radahn's or Morgoth's Great Rune. The others are not of any use in this format. Wow. Right as the dragon flew away, Mokyx got the charge R2 to stagger. Absolutely beautiful fight on that Agil. Great job, man.
Perfect. Agil tried to throw him, like Agil loves to fly around, but he got it. And now, like I said, like he has a perfect weapon to deal with these guys.
And also, Mokyx sees the Fia's champs and just immediately warps out. So we will not see them get killed, but it does mean that he avoids the time loss. Like DRRaven easily lost a minute or more on that fight.
Yes, this is not perfect enough for Mokyx. He just said it's gonna take too long. It is a fight that takes too long indeed, where like you usually it's definitely not on the list that you wanna do. Like,
no,
you might have to do it because it's on the path or something like that, but it's gonna take a long time. Just the time that takes for them to appear is slow. So
yeah, and
I don't blame him for like just skipping it, especially if he didn't have an intention of doing Cemetery Shade.
And I also do want to point out here, so keep in mind, while players have been playing pretty clean, maybe a few scary moments, but overall nothing, you know, really alarming. But this is the Deathless Randomizer League. One death by either of our players here could really swing the matchup. As the way that it works is if a player dies, they will continue playing, but their score becomes locked. So if DRRaven were to hypothetically die here, I'm not wishing it upon him, to be very clear, his score would be locked at 44. He will keep playing because if his opponent dies and they are equal on deaths, then both the scores get unlocked and it's basically just back to neutral, right?
Speaking of NPCs,
but one death can really swing the matchup here. So for example, if Mokyx,
oh my god,
I did it, bro. I did it.
You finally got your first curse of DRL.
I did it, bro.
Oh my god. But
I was literally about to say, if Mokyx dies here,
this is tragic. And to be quite honest, like, it can happen to anybody who ends up overconfident on Weedcutter. I was about to say that this is the boss that I wouldn't use Weedcutter on, because for 2 reasons. One, he can hyper armor through and just hit you like he just got hit twice in a row. And second, because he's heavily armored, so Rakshasa having a pierce attack, it's better if you're fighting Solitary Knight with this weapon, it's better to run R1 on him, like you running in its direction, hit R1.
So for anyone who doesn't know, I have special powers with cursing people. If you watch the Bingo League that I commentate, I am the GOAT at it. I was really hoping those powers did not translate to DRL, but they did. No, he died to Solitary. He's right back. So what this means is that his score is now locked at 46. So as long as DRRaven surpasses a score of 46, as long as he gets 7 or more, he would win the match. That being said, though, players are not allowed to, they do not know what the other player is doing, and are not allowed to know. So Mokyx will continue, or DRRaven will continue to play here. If you are a Mokyx fan, if you're rooting for Mokyx, you need to be hoping that DRRaven dies. If DRRaven dies, then Mokyx's score will become unlocked and the match will be back to neutral as if neither player died. But if DRRaven gets 2 more kills here, then the only way for Mokyx to win is if DRRaven does die.
Now he gets it. very unfortunate death and the time loss as well because he had to go back all the way to give a second try. And yeah, like and DRRaven just got to 46, so he's one boss away from being in the lead. And
Yeah.
basically, he doesn't know that, but he only needs to not die after the next boss.
And we saw how cursed this catacomb was earlier. Mokyx got through it very clean. So look,
So we could get a tie here, like, it's not impossible.
I cursed Mokyx earlier, but I'm just gonna say, you know, if DRRaven has a tough time in this catacomb, you know, there's some really scary enemies here. And if he were to die, then the match would be even back to even, as if neither player died. You know, and it's very possible with the scary enemies that are in here. You can always get chopped. He seems to be having a good go of it so far. He gets into some trouble here with the Omen Killer, does run away, taking it nice and slow, which is the right decision here because this catacomb is a death trap. Probably the most likely running section for players to die, either this or Precipice, I would say. Look, I'm not a Mokyx fan, guys, but I cursed him. I said if Mokyx were to, and I was about to say die, and he immediately died. So I feel personally responsible, and I'm just trying to even out the match here. All right, that is all.
It was
Yeah.
it was one of those who's curse moments. I guarantee you, like it's not the first time it happens. It's very difficult to deal with the curse like that, but rest assured, that curse can cut both ways. There it is, 47, and as you can see on the score, it's light blue on the score there because if it were to if it were to finish now, DRRaven would win, but he doesn't know that. Because he doesn't know that Mokyx died, he needs to keep going full speed, and that opens up the chance of a mistake.
Yeah.
So it is not over. It's definitely not over. Obviously, if DRRaven doesn't die, he wins, but he might die. Like, he doesn't know that he's safe.
Especially because Mokyx still has a pace advantage. Like, Mokyx is still ahead on the score, right? Despite the death. So if DRRaven does die, Mokyx will go back into the lead, and DRRaven has no idea that Mokyx died or what his pace is. It is against league rules to know, right? He's just playing his game in isolation here, right? And trying to do the best that he can, having no idea what's going on with Mokyx here.
Let's get the second boss in the catacomb here. Now he's going back for some bosses that he didn't do yet. DRRaven, I mean, going for Soldier Godric.
Yeah.
Mokyx did that.
Yeah, they have to play without chat.
Knockrow.
They have to play without chat. It's, you know, it's all in the league rules. Yep.
Yeah, otherwise it
yeah, otherwise chat would just easy. Tell them, right? Yeah.
Yeah, even if they don't want to, like someone could. So yeah, Mokyx decides to go Knockrow, which makes sense.
Yeah, now is about the time. You maybe could have pushed it for another couple minutes. Like, I think DRRaven can do this Rick, and then maybe one more boss, and then he needs to go Knockron.
Also, I believe he didn't go there yet on the Magma Worm. That was actually Solitary Knight. So if he goes there, he needs to make sure that he doesn't die to the same boss that Mokyx died to. So there's also that.
How many minutes for Altus bosses? General rule of thumb is 30. general rule, like, you know, it obviously depends on what the bosses are and what your build is, right? But the general rule of thumb is that if you want to be able to maximize Altus, you want to be in Altus with 30 minutes remaining. That is the rule of thumb.
Yeah, because there's like roughly 20 bosses there.
Yeah, there's actually exactly 20 bosses. I think if you do unsightly, I believe it's exactly 20.
I'd say roughly because of the Stone Sword key situation, right? But
yeah,
it's gonna be close to 20 every time. Like at worst, it's 18, right? So you wanna be able to hit them, all of them, and that means you need at least 30 minutes. You may go later depending on things like pace or like you feel like it's better to have a higher count before going there. But in general, you wanna. Oh, he gets Rakshasa as well.
Yeah, he just picked up Rakshasas. Also, I think if you're Mokyx right now, I'm praying that I see Melania right here, or like something very difficult, right? Because I know that I need a death from DRRaven. This path is the one they will need to go through to get to Altus, right? So I'm just praying that I see Melania or that sort of, you know, something like that.
Nice.
Players are allowed to use notes. I literally have notes written on my desk for when I play. You're just not allowed to get outside help from individuals during the game, right? So you can consult your notes or things like that. You just cannot be like, hey, Rambler, did my opponent die? What should I do? Right?
Yeah, you cannot be coached or get outside information during the game. One interesting thing about you can see there in the right corner of the players, you see score, depths, and timer. If you click on that button, that arrow pointing down when you're playing, or if you, I believe the button is the equal sign.
Yeah, it's the plus equals button.
On your keyboard, that means you can see a list of the bosses that you killed so far, divided by region. You can also customize that. So players, some of them have it customized so they know which ones they did so far. And the ones that are that they still didn't do, to be able to keep track. So those tools are available to the players, but nothing that can give them like information about what their opponents are doing. That is not allowed.
And DRRaven's gonna be very, I think. Whoa, Anvil Hammer.
Anvil Hammer, okay.
He's gonna be like, at the end of the day, this match does hinge upon a death, right? At this point, if DRRaven does not die, obviously he doesn't know it, but hypothetically he could just sit in round table and win, right? Which he would not do, because that wouldn't, most of the time your opponent's not going to die. Deaths are rare. These are, you know, some of the best players in the world, right?
Yeah. If anything, he thinks he's behind because he almost died on Fias Champions. He lost that time.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if people have been playing the same level, he expects to be behind, actually. Oh, it's a very hard boss.
I think he needs to go Nokron now.
But he played awesomely, but
he doesn't survived. He's going for PCR now.
It could be Deathless. I think he's thinking Deathless here.
All right, let me just get on the theme music here.
Yeah, no, Soldier of Godric was there, but he expertly avoided the attack that would have killed him, and managed to. Okay, this is high octane situation right here.
Yeah, come on, PCR music. I need to kick in here. All right. I mean, he's doing beautiful so far.
Yeah, he knows all the dodges, but this boss sometimes says, "I don't care."
Oh, that wow. He completely bugged. But
yeah, like I said,
DRRaven handled it very well.
Yeah, you know, he knows every dodge on this boss very clearly.
I know he is a very experienced no-hit runner, and I think that's a hitless PCR phase 2. Really nicely done.
I think he got like hit by one of the.
No, I'm calling it hitless. I've declared it as hitless. Too bad.
But I'm gonna
Absolutely
say, like,
fantastic job there by DRRaven. Beautiful fight. And now he's going to be charging through Nokron here. He's a little slow, I will say. You would like to get, enter Nokron, because it does take more than a few minutes to run through. So he does know that he's a little late, but playing very well.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It was hitless for all intents and purposes because the boss basically bugged. So
okay, I declared it as hitless. Also, you know what? This is good for Mokyx. Renala, while not the toughest boss in the world, you can get memed. Like 90% of the time she goes great, but when she does meme you, she memes you.
I don't like Fox against her. I would prefer the Great Hammer or Rakshasas.
Mokyx gets it down. Nicely done there.
The dragon coming for a little bit of a late surprise, but now we see why Nokron is a grace that is actually very good in this format. They didn't find Dectus, but it doesn't matter because after Fia's Champions, which is a boss, increases your count, and then you're right here. You're right next to Draconic Tree Sentinel. Just need to take a small elevator, and you're there.
Yeah, DRRaven seems very locked in ever since that Fia's Champs, really. There were a couple hairy moments, obviously the Fia's Champs being the big one. Had a close moment on the Crucible Knight Siluria before in the duo at Deathrite Bird. Like, he's definitely had a couple close calls, but he seems very locked in here right now, heading into the last 30 minutes of this match. And, we'll see how this goes. I think Mokyx has already taken the pain of Nokron. I still think he is overall ahead on score if there was a death from DRRaven. He also has an extra minute in hand, but he will need that death in order to keep his hopes alive, as this is a matchup in the losers bracket. So this one is win or go home. The winner will move on to play Pelucky, who we saw earlier today on Gino's broadcast. He did a fantastic job, but just slightly was not enough. So he dropped down to the losers bracket, and that is who the winner of this match will meet in the very next round.
You see here, Godfrey as the Draconic Tree Sentinel taking a stroll outside of Capital instead of remaining in the usual location.
Very nice fight on the Godfrey. All right, DRRaven fans, he just needs to survive here for another 28 minutes, and then you will go home with all the corn that you gambled, all the channel points. And for Mokyx fans, you don't want to prey on someone's downfall, but if you want to see your competitor win, then well, I have to do it.
Yeah, we see here.
Loretta is always one that can catch you out.
That is true, especially in second phase.
I will say DRRaven is a very consistent player, a pretty credentialed hitless runner. I know he's done trilogy hitless. Not players like that are not the type of person who I would expect to die, but of course anything can happen.
Yeah, if not,
very nice crystal dart for the finished.
Yeah, he almost died to Fia's Champions in part because it's not the type of boss that you really can do much to. You can learn, of course, but it's not It's not the type of boss that actually like is very predictable. Like when you get like three NPCs coming at you, it is a little bit scuffed every time.
Mokyx here, man, he tried to go for the riposte but got stuck. If he would have just kept swinging, he would have gotten the kill on Radon. Instead, there is a phase transition. I mean, his pace is of course important still, because even if DRRaven does die again, he still has to be ahead on score.
He played with fire there, like running in the direction of a dog that could have kept him there, like for the explosion. Played with fire there a little bit.
But he did not get burned.
Not this time, no.
A large club and larval tier, that screams power stance great hammers to me, but
what doesn't?
Got a good point.
What doesn't for you these days?
Also, DRRaven's just skipping Celeria. Yeah. He didn't. I don't think he grabbed the Grace.
He didn't grab the Grace. He forewent it.
That's normally a very fast check,
some
though.
Sense.
It's such a fast check.
Sense.
I think you just take it. I know you want to maximize Altus, but it's so fast. I think you need to take it. Oh, also Fire Giant phase 2 here, and Mokyx is making the intelligent choice and just running. Yep, that's very smart. Yeah.
You might have time for it later, but at this point you have one death. You need to pray that DRRaven dies as well. So just play it safe at this point. Like you're not gonna be in a better spot if you fight this guy now.
Now we have Renala here for the Doctor. A fight that can meme you. Here comes the moon. I don't think we're gonna see right away. Charge there too.
Are we in Veil Break? Really? But this is a good attack to get.
Oh, big bleed. Whoa, that really bugged. That bleed bugged out the troll though. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Mokyx got down to
so close.
5% HP, but did not die. Wow. Yeah, that was definitely a bit of a scam. The bleed block bugged out the troll, and then he got in huge trouble.
Almost paid the troll toll here.
Fortunately for him, he does get through.
And I don't know if he got the Grace, right? So if he dies there, not only the death puts Mokyx in range of a win again, but also he would have to go back.
Yeah, he would have. I don't even know.
I don't even know.
Like if he died
maybe
there, it was
Aqueduct?
Dude, I think it would have just been over, because he would have had to run so much just to get back to Altus, right? Because if Raven dies right now, it's not game over. Like Mokyx, it just comes a pace race again. But without, if he were to die there because of the Grace, which you don't really think about, it is Deathless Randomizer League. You don't think about, if I die, where is the Grace, right? But in that situation, he would have been cooked.
You always play optimistic in this one. Like you don't want to die, so you don't need the Grace. But maybe you do die. No, Darius, he wouldn't go back to Mimic stake. He doesn't have that stake anymore.
Yeah, he's way past the stake.
And there's no stake for Fierce Champions, like because there's a Grace right outside. So yeah, there's a few tricky bosses here. Like Mokyx is not like he can hope. He can hope for.
I mean, people sit at Graces to level up, but you just skip a lot of Graces, right? Because if you're not gonna warp back there, and while it is faster to, of course, level, if you sit at every single Grace for one level at a time, right, you will end up losing time. Normally, players try to build up, 4 or 5 levels worth of runes and then level, right, rather than after each individual boss.
Yeah. Yeah, usually you wanna stop and level in races that you absolutely need to take. Even just resting, if you can, you probably just grace warp, right?
Yeah.
Which is like you get the grace. If you get, maybe some of you don't know, but if you can get the grace at a weird angle that forces a pivot animation on your character, and that allows you to open the map during the animation, and that allows in turn for you to use the map to warp to that grace. That's what we call grace warp, right? So that's better because it's faster than sitting at the grace.
Yeah.
Even though we do have an animation that is faster in this mod.
Yeah, that's not a byproduct of the Deathless. It's just a byproduct of the timer. That's some speedrun tech. Because yeah, the reality is, of course, sitting at graces and leveling will, every level that you can get gives you a little bit of extra damage, a little bit of extra health that makes it harder to die, right? But each time you sit at a grace and level, that takes 5 to 10 seconds. In so many games in this league have come down to just a matter of seconds, right? So if you can avoid sitting, that could give you an advantage over your opponent.
Now, Forsa here, I believe he was here in another seed today.
I feel like I've seen him here multiple times.
Yeah. Small
Mokyx is in some
nitpicking.
trouble here.
Oh, he is. He got hit twice by the fire.
I also think Mokyx
Thankfully-
decided to skip the boss up there, and also is switching to the power stance great hammers. Found the larval tier and the second great hammer now. And is he gonna choose to fight this fire giant? Ooh, he is. I
mean, check the damage first, right? Maybe it's good
look,
enough.
I don't mind it, but I will say,
But he can't check it because the boss bar is not appearing.
oh wait, the boss is bugged. He just did his opening animation. Now he's just standing there. This is just a free kill.
Oh my god, that's such a good break for
That's a huge
Raven.
break for DrRaven. Also good to know, because now cat's out of the bag. If you see fire giant here, he just breaks.
He can break, yeah. I mean, I don't think it's guaranteed, but he did break here and was a free kill.
Normally, if they break in that way, I would think it's guaranteed.
Yeah, because like the boss health bar didn't even appear, right? And I believe it didn't appear for Mokyx as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's and also
yeah,
he
Thomas
decided
just said
not
any
to.
top, plural, who's another top player, said any shack. It's apparently guaranteed.
Oh, okay. Does that go for both phases though? This was second.
No,
phase,
I think
second.
I've fought phase 1 in a shack before, but I'm not 100%. I think just phase 2. The death was to Solitary Knight, the DLC NPC.
I was about to say a little bit of a nitpick on Mokyx. He switched to Fox for 46. He has Rakshasa. 46 specifically weak to Pierce, like all the ancient dragons. So that's also a good option against 46.
Scaly. Somewhere there is an Australian who is in deep fear of this boss.
Oh yeah, our friend,
and potentially
good
a
friend.
Frenchman right now.
Oh yeah.
This boss is unironically incredibly scary because you don't really fight him that much. Like, who really knows how to fight Scaly Misbegotten that well? He's like a pushover, right? But like,
does this count as a great player dice to
yes,
Scaly
yes,
as well?
yes. You know, he just holds those swings for so long.
Oh my god, yeah. Like sometimes you can roll twice before he swings. Yeah, good players die to Malenia, great players die to Sanguine Noble, great players also die to Scaly Misbegotten.
Yeah, Scaly
That
Misbegotten
is
falls
true.
in the Sanguine Noble camp. Duelists as well.
Duelist, yeah, I did die to the Duelist in my first seed in Dragon Barrel. Not that I'm a great player or anything, but I had
I think
two,
you're a great player, Rambler.
I only had two deaths to bosses.
Rambler, you're the number
this
16 seed in the largest Elden Ring tournament of all time. I think that means you're a great player.
That is true, but
You self-deprecate
I
too
was
much.
about to say was a duelist and was a dun. I don't know if a dun counts. I don't think a dun is in that list. No, I'm not self-deprecating. I'm just like being like, I'm not gonna call myself a great player based on the fact that I died to a boss. I might say that Fire Giant here. Fire Giant is strolling through Altus, came down the mountain. Both phases here.
Yeah, I mean, even DRRaven might be just ahead on pace at this point.
Oh yeah, because like not only the death.
Actually, no. Mokyx has an extra minute. Yeah. Mokyx has a minute and 13 in hand. Also, if he ever does go back to the shack for that fire giant, that is just a free kill.
Yeah, he could also like technically Mokyx could go back for stuff like that he didn't do. Like he didn't do the Dragon Barrel, Bell-bearing Hunter. I forgot what it was. So many bosses.
I don't even know. Yeah.
I remember that he saw and decided not to. I don't think he ever did that Ghost Flame Dragon in Lingrave as well.
Yeah, both
and
players
also
have plenty of bosses available to them. I mean, ultimately though, it is just, does Mokyx make the fatal mistake? Does Raven make the fatal mistake that allows Mokyx a chance here? And he's down to half HP.
Okay, 46, trying to play nice for Mokyx.
Yeah, here. Mokyx also does a very nice job, like, of intelligently greeting. He knows that, like, when he's at full health, he can afford to play a little risky, right? But once that health bar starts to drop to about the 50% mark, he, immediately goes back on the defensive, heals up, all that stuff, right? It's just it's the right amount of greed. Nothing over the line. He's never in any imminent danger. You want to avoid what I like to call the have to have it rolls, where you have to hit this roll or you die, right? Ideally, I'm always in a spot where I can at least get hit twice, right? Or get hit once without dying. Have to have it rolls or something that you want to minimize, because also it's super stressful, right? Like you play an entire seed, and while even a trivial basic dodge can feel like the weight of the world bearing down on you, because if you don't time it right, GG's. Yes, I am going to do some training after this.
I do believe the Great Hammer build is better overall.
Oh yeah, it's better. The jump attack great hammers are much better.
For this boss in particular, I would switch back to Fox. Like they bleed quite a lot. It's not the hardest to get a stance break as well. The ulcerated tree spirits. I mean, against this guy though, I like the jump.
Yeah, Mokyx or DRRaven is now just, I think at this point has the pace advantage and the death in hand, right? If DRRaven does die, this will be incredibly close. But yeah, it all comes down to that.
He's taking kind of like a scenic route here a little bit.
This is definitely a non-traditional line.
Yeah, when I come from that direction through Altus, I like to go back to Perfumer's Grotto. Because it's probably the same running, but you get the health back, you get the flasks back. In some cases, maybe you even stop to level, even though you're grabbing Disgrace now. It is night time, which is what you want when you find this boss, when you fight the Knight's Cavalry. It is Fire Giant though. So Mokyx had to, I think Mokyx didn't kill this guy, right?
I don't know. Dude, he just gets destroyed though by the jump attack hammers.
That is true. Like it's
They're just
there,
so
but
good.
he's still gonna get a
If anything,
probably
actually, the stone barb tier hurt him there because he got the stance break too early. It would he would have if he did not drink stone barb there, he would have never even rolled away. Stone barb actually was an active detriment.
Also in the Sage's Cave, now Mokyx got like a little bit trolled by a Madness guy. There it is, 64. He's ahead on bosses as well.
Oh, and this is Melania.
Oh no, this is not where I want it.
No, but this is actually good for Mokyx. Mokyx needs hard bosses because he needs something that's going to kill Raven, right?
But at the same time, he needs to not die himself.
Yes.
And this is the first boss in Sage's Cave, not the second.
But yeah, Raven will go here, and because it's the first boss, like this is actually perfect for Mokyx. Of course, this fight is incredibly difficult, but in the sense that Raven's going to come here, and he will be very inclined to kill this boss.
Beautiful dodge and waterfall and punishing in the middle of it. Rakshasa's Great Katana is probably the weapon of choice by like 90% of players that like.
Yeah, I don't think he'll skip though, maybe, but it's really hard to skip because if you skip here, it's a -2. There is a boss right afterwards.
I mean, it depends on how when he gets here as well, right? Like maybe he doesn't come.
He's gonna go there really quick. He does at most 2 bosses before he goes here. He's running to Erdtree Hill now. He'll most likely do the he'll do Gillica and then maybe the Tibia Mariner.
Very beautiful greed there. Got the stagger. And that's it. Melania dead for Mokyx. That could be the difference.
Like I will say, like, you know, partially because of the weapons and things, I think the players have both played pretty well. Like, but the pace is low in this match, right? It's lower than we've seen, and that can weigh on you as a player. So while in normal situations you might think, hey, I'm skipping that Melania, you know that you need every point to win, right? I really would be surprised if DRRaven did not go for the kill there. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
What could happen though, like what I'm saying is maybe he decides to do the rest of like Altus first.
No, you always do Sage's Cave though, because it's so fast. He might do the Tibia. He might do the Tibia, but I think he does Sage's Cave afterwards.
Dimitrov here telling he died from rotting qualifier, so he might mog out of that.
Yeah, but I do agree with I can't know who in chat said it, but it's very possible that he walks in there and takes a look at his score and goes like, I might just be praying that my opponent died, right?
Yeah.
Because I think they've both done very well for the seed. This has just been a very difficult seed. However, that can weigh on you as a player, right? Where it's like my score is a lot lower than normal, right?
Yeah.
And so as a result, you just try to be more aggressive to make it up, right?
Yeah. As of right now, this seed is looking like assuming the bosses do well, right? Like you do well on the bosses. Mokyx has 10 minutes left, so he's looking at like a 74, 75.
No, that's too. Right? I think like a 72.
No, I mean like if all bosses equal, right? Like that's the best he can do. Like he's not gonna do better than 74, 75.
Realistically, I think it's like a 71, 70, like 72. Realistically,
Raven's
going there right now.
That might be the Melania that decides it all.
Yeah, I do think that this fight will be the match decider most likely, unless Mokyx runs into something very quickly here. It's gonna come down to, does Raven die to Melania?
Gets the kill on Putrid Avatar. 66 bosses for Mokyx. Okay, so people who know Dr.
He's
Raven.
up, but barely. He's barely up. He's barely up. Even if he dies, I'm not, because if he dies, there's a massive time loss too. Like he's not up enough that his lead is not big enough right now in terms of the actual score, especially because Mokyx has an extra minute and 10 seconds. Like if he dies, he's not guaranteed to win. If anything, I think
Dr.
it's
Raven.
yeah.
Is he as good at Malenia as he showed to be good at PCR phase 2?
Yeah.
I believe he might be because, well, PCR phase 2 is, I believe, even harder. But there is the waterfall dodge. Mokyx did dodge like the close range.
See, this is the pivotal moment. He's walking through the fog door right now. What does he decide to do? He mogs. I'm shocked.
I'm not because I think it depends on like how the player approaches this, right? Like
I mean, I guess
Dr.
DMI
Raven,
is correct. DMI knows him better, basically saying that he has PTSD from the qualifiers. I mean, it's smart given the circumstances, right? But it is smart. Don't get me wrong, it is smart. I just fully expected, knowing player psyche in doing this for a long time. I don't know Dr. Raven specifically, but having commentated maybe more competitive games than anybody, I expected him to go for that there, I will say. But it was a smart play.
I think Hooser, I think we have very like different approaches, so I think it might be easier for me to see the merit on this. Like, you have faster bosses available. Malenia is dangerous there because it's small, like small location. If she does clones, you need to close to dodge at close range. It's not easy to do that on the spot every time. So I think he did like a safe bet on, like, if Mokyx gets Malenia there and he doesn't die, like, all the power to him. I think that's like the way Raven's thinking right now. It sucks to lose that time, but it's better not to die. That's his thinking.
Yeah,
right
no,
now.
I agree that it's smart. I'm not saying that it's dumb. I'm just saying that with what I know about player psychology, I would have expected him to go for it. But you know what? Props to him for making the smart choice, right?
Yeah, it's always smart in like context. If it's the second boss, maybe then it's even better, right? Because
if it's the second boss, I think he's way more likely to skip. I would have thought he would have skipped if it was the second boss. Given that it's the first boss and it's basically like a -2, I would have. That's why I expected him to go for it.
I would consider skipping this guy as well, if not for
Theo's scary, man.
Scared. It's not, if not because he's scary, but because Dragon Barrel is scaling, so this is gonna do a lot of damage.
Yeah, he also hits crazy hard.
But yeah, like that lava, like he just touched it, and it was
and it did 20% of his health just because he stuck a toe in it.
Yeah, it's also very slow. Like, depending on what he's planning on doing next, this might be okay. He does only have like 4 minutes left. He already did Nocron. He did skip Siluria completely. I don't know if he wants to go back to the Fierce Champions. Probably not at this point.
Oh my god, there was Deathless.
Oh my god. Okay, so in this seed we probably get Deathless. Like in a seed like this.
Yeah, early Dragon Barrel. Early Dragon Barrel could have just won the match.
Yeah, because then you just do Nocron for the sake of doing Nocron. Like, if you don't have time, you don't do Fierce Champions, you do Siluria. Or Dragon King even, like, depending on the time you have.
Dr. Raven just has to not let Disaster strike for another 3 minutes and 30 seconds. You know, another thing that you could see here is greeting at the end for trying to get one extra boss, because in the qualifiers, there's no detriment to that, right? In this round, it unlocks your opponent's score. DRRaven got hit so hard down to like.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Does heal back up.
I'm sweating here. I'm sweating. Still quite a lot of fight to do still.
Oh my god! Gets clocked again. But then the Knight's Cav runs. He's out of heals right now.
Knight's Cav gave him respite.
He's got it off. He should be good. Oh my.
To jump once to finish the boss. 70 score achieved, both players. That was so close, and that
Mokyx is going right now, or sorry, DRRaven is going to solitary. This is where Mokyx met his end earlier. And DRRaven's juiced. He has a fantastic build.
And that fight, like the way he's been playing, he probably takes that very slow, but I mean, what if he dies?
I mean, this is very likely the final boss here for MrDrRaven, right? This fight's gonna take a minute. I don't think he'll have time for another boss. It's basically, does he die here, or does he, like after that, it'd just be maybe a gross misassessment of the situation, trying way too hard to greed to force 72, right?
Yeah, might have time for the other Dragon Barrel boss, which we don't know what that is.
Mokyx is about to hit 71, so if DRRaven does die here, that will give the win to Mokyx. If Raven dies, he just has to get through this fight.
Solitary Knight, he's doing a good amount of damage. Both of them are. He's being so
Oh
greedy.
my god! Oh
my god! Oh my god!
Oh my god. I think that'll do it, unless DRRaven tries to push way too hard. Holy hell.
I mean, I don't think there's even time to get to danger at this point.
Yeah.
He's going for the tunnel. He won't get to the boss in time. Unless like the only chance for Mokyx now.
DRRaven had so many close calls this game. How many times did he get down to 1 HP or like less than 10% health? But you know what? He didn't die. And this is Deathless Randomizer League. DRRaven was the one who did not make the crucial mistake, and as a result, he will be your champion. MrDrRaven, massive congratulations to you as you will move on to the next round where he will play Palucky. Massive GG's to DRRaven. Respect to both players. They played extremely well today. It was an incredibly difficult seed. But at the end of the day, it came down to the fact that Mokyx made the crucial mistake and DRRaven did not. So GG's to Raven, GG's to Mokyx as well. I mean, he really did play a beautiful seed, just minus that one mistake. But that's how thin the margins are in this league. And hell of a job by both of our players.
Yeah, we're gonna get to see the final attempt on a boss here.
It's Rolana. He's not killing Rolana in 26 seconds.
No. Rolana might kill her in 20 seconds. But yeah, this is the first playoff match that is decided by the death, not just by the score. Because the other players that had deaths, they had fewer bosses killed as well, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that is correct.
This is the first one that ends up like that. Mokyx gets one boss more, but he died.
I did
So
just
he
invite both
loses.
the players if they want to do a post-match interview in English. I'm not sure if they will. It's up to them. But I also do want to say just a massive thank you to, first off, all of you for watching. I hope
yeah.
that you enjoyed the matchup and enjoyed Deathless Randomizer League. It's been an absolute privilege for me to be able to host these matches. And I just want to say thank you guys all so much for the support, and I hope that you enjoy the broadcast in the commentary. I also want to give a massive thank you to my co-commentator, Mr. Rambler, Dr. Rambler, PhD, as
Thank you.
he joined me here. Please give him a follow. He took time out of his day to be here with us. So if you can give him a follow, it's the least that you can do. I also want to give a big shout out to both of our players. They have trained very hard in order to be able to put on this type of a show for you guys. I think the least that we can do is give them a follow and check them out. So if you can, I would really appreciate it if you can give a follow to both of our players. And last but not least, but most importantly, massive shout out to Forsa. Thank you so much for hosting this amazing league, giving so many players across the world an opportunity to compete in this competition. Thank you for giving myself the opportunity to host this broadcast, and trusting me enough to bring on, some of my trusted co-commentators like Rambler, Sci-Fi, Harv, etc. But seriously, thank you guys all so much for watching and for the support. And you guys are the best. And this will be the last game that I commentate for a couple days. My match is in 48 hours, basically. I play on Thursday at 4 p.m. American Eastern Time. That is 9 p.m. 8 p.m. UTC. 8 p.m. UTC. I think Eastern to UTC is 4 hours right now. Yeah. So our match is at 4 p.m. American Eastern Time. That is 8 p.m. UTC. Rambler and I will be playing. So after we end here, we will now be bitter enemies for the next 48 hours. So yeah, no commentary for me as I prepare for that one. The next match that my next commentary will be on Saturday. I mean, you can, if you guys have questions for them, I think you can go to their chats. I asked them if they want to do an interview. I have not gotten any response. Players are not obligated to do so. But hats off to both of them. It was incredible, close to match and close to watch. And even though ultimately the scoreboard is 71-46, but this was really close, especially considering how close DRRaven played it in a few moments there.
Yeah, no, that it did come down. It was also his last boss.
Yes.
And Mokyx was like watching while User was giving the much appreciated thanks to everybody. He was watching his death and seemed particularly annoyed at it because like it was very, very on the edge of the character model. Like the second hit got him like very, very close to the edge of the character model. So just 1 or 2 inches and he would be in the clear. So it was very unfortunate for Mokyx. He would probably get the because we know Raven didn't know and he skipped a couple bosses as a result of playing it safe. So if Mokyx doesn't die there, he probably gets this because he would have the better pace at the end. But well, it's the Deathless Randomizer League, so a death can get you.
Yeah, this is. Sorry.
Yeah.
I
was about to say that that's what makes this so unpredictable, right? Like you can be you can have the better pace, have the better weapon, but if you make a mistake, it costs you the whole match.
Yeah, if you want to stay up to date with all of the matches as they are scheduled and where you can watch the broadcast in both English and French, make sure to check out the league website. This is the last match for today. There is one match for tomorrow, early in the morning, American Eastern Time, 10:30 a.m. It'll be Typin versus Teddy. type in the #1 overall seed, actually from last year's DRL, from DRL season 1, going into his first playoff match. That'll be on Kata's channel. And then there are 3 matches on Thursday. That is Pearl versus Dagon E. Pearl, last season's DRL champion. Serious Challenges, the champion of Randocalypse, another competitive tournament that was very similar to this one, going up against Ronnie's consort Brian, the #1 speedrunner in Canada. And then of course Rambler versus myself. So those will be the matches on Thursday. And then we have 2 more matches coming up on Friday. It will be Azaz, the #4 overall seed, versus Plural, a good friend of mine and a fantastic rando competitor, 2-time champion of the You Against the Pros format. And then Iron, the #2 overall seed, going up against Jeff. So we got a big slate of games. There are a couple more there on the website. Be sure to stay up to date with that to find out where all the matches, when all the matches are, and where they're going to be commentated. The website will also update to your local time zone. So if you look at the times there, it is in your local time. And yeah, we're about to go to ads. I think that's all I have. I just, again, want to say thank you so much to Rambler. I am going to take a short break here. And then I'm going to go ahead and do some practice in order to prepare for our match in 2 days here. So I will see you later, my friend Rambler chat. I'll be back in just a second. And thank you so much for being here again, Forza. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I love you all. You guys are the best. I appreciate the hell out of each and every one of you. Thank you very much.